Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live from the
757.
Good morning, Bryan.
Hey, good morning, Sofia. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, but not as good as you.
Oh, man. Why
you
you
should
say
be
that?
relaxed.
I
Coming
am.
from Turks and Caicos, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
How was your trip?
The trip was good. We had a great time. It was good, man. What people be saying, take me back.
Oh,
Take me
Lord.
back. Yeah. Take me back to Turks and Caicos.
You ready to go back?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it was a great time, but you know, I miss my kids.
Yeah.
So, and I miss work too, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I like to work, man. So, being out there.
That's a first.
That's a first. What you mean?
I ain't never heard nobody say they missed work.
Yeah, I miss work. I miss the grind, man. I love the
Okay.
grind. You know. So, but nah, yeah, it was cool. We had a really, really good time. You know, we went out there on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Flew out Wednesday morning and stayed there till Sunday. Got back actually late Sunday. Flights were fine too. I didn't know what to expect from that. Just because I hadn't been out the country, you know,
Since
in a little
last
while.
year?
Well, last year, but it was a little different last year. Last year, the transportation was a little different last year.
What was the difference?
It was a charter plane last year. So,
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't like we had to go like connecting flights and all of that. So it was a little different.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You
that's
got
what I'm
off,
saying.
you got off on the private.
Oh boy.
What is it with the private?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
Clearport Airport
Yeah,
things.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So just a little
You
bit
downgraded yourself from that to first class.
different. Whatever, man. Whatever. But nah, it was cool. Like I said, so we flew from Norfolk to Charlotte, and that was like an hour flight, even a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
And then from Charlotte, we flew to Turks and Caicos. And that flight from Charlotte there was like 2.5 hours. So total fly time was like 3.5 hours, which is not bad. I mean, if you fly
that's
from
not bad.
here to like Texas or even fly to like, especially like Vegas or California, you're gonna fly longer than that. So I mean, this was much easier.
The islands aren't too far from the states.
Correct.
So it's
correct.
Because when I used to live in Florida, I mean, I was like
Oh, you're right there.
45 minutes. From
yeah.
the Bahamas. Like
Correct.
it was.
Yeah.
It was like going up north to
Yeah.
DC or something.
Yeah, you were right there
flight-wise,
down there.
so.
So it was cool. Like I said, it was a really good time. We ate a lot. I felt like I gained about 10 pounds out there. So I ate a lot, drank a lot, relaxed a lot. I mean, we did a lot of different activities out there: jet ski, snorkeling. What else we do? Parasailing, yeah, parasail too.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've
parasail.
never parasailed before.
Oh, for real?
I want to,
Uh-huh.
but I don't want to do it where there's buildings because I've heard of horror stories where like the wind catches them and then
Where
they
there's buildings?
slam into so kind of like for example like
In the middle of the ocean.
well for example
Okay.
like let's say you're on South Beach. You've been to South Beach before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're there and you're in the ocean, but then there's building after building after building after building down Ocean Drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the wind catches you and catches you hard enough, guess where you're going to go? Most likely you're going to go towards the buildings. Because
Well, I guess you gotta, because see, with parasailing, you're not that close to the coast. Because when they normally, like, I know the different times I've been, they take, like, the highest you'll go is like 300 to 400 feet. Like, the average is normally like 200 feet as far as that's how they have you. So, I mean, I know for us, in the times that I've been, I mean, you're in the middle of the ocean. So it's like, even if, let's say that the parasail fell down, I mean, you're still going to be in the middle of the
But
ocean.
I used to see people parasail all the time close to the buildings. And I just was,
I don't know. I mean,
it's that fear.
every time I've been, I guess it's been in the middle of the ocean. So that's probably what I would recommend to you if you're gonna do it. Just go make sure that the tour is in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, because that's the part that I'm surprised because Brooke, she's more on the cautious side than me. Like I'm more adventurous. Like I'll do pretty much anything besides bungee jumping. That's the only thing I'll never do. Like I'll jump off of a cliff into water. Like I've done that before. Like I like all that stuff. She's more like, how high is it again? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll record you. So that's kind of how she do.
I'll do
I was surprised.
all those things. Only thing I don't like doing is what you said, snorkeling. I don't like fish.
Gotcha.
Even if I go fishing, I don't touch fish.
Oh,
I just eat them.
You just eat them. Okay.
Don't
They
touch
probably you might not want to snore. They probably come after you. Then you just say you just eat them. Yeah. You got my cousin. Gonna get you right. Yeah. But nah, it was cool. Like I said, I was kind of surprised because Brooke and I we've parasailed before, but to me anyway, like she was really terrified of the snorkeling and the jet skiing. And I felt like, to me personally, I thought that was like, to me, like crazier because you way high in the air and like, let's say something happens and you in the middle of the ocean. Like, I don't know. I mean, they got the captain's there, like, you know, on the boat so he can help you. But I don't know. I just felt like you're putting in a lot more danger if something were to go wrong there versus like jet skiing.
Why was she scared of the jet ski?
Because when we did jet skiing, it wasn't like she was on my back. It wasn't like two separate jet skis.
Two separate.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. She didn't want to.
She was scared of your driving.
She was scared to drive it, and then when I was on it, like I was going fast. You know what I'm saying? So I was going like real fast. So it was like she was just kind of scared.
Of you. Yeah, she was scared of you being the person to drive, or
yeah. I guess you could say that. Yeah, because again, I'm a thrill seeker. So like I'm like we like and the guy that was like taking us out there in the middle of the ocean. Like, you know, he was going fast. I was trying to keep up with him. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, it was pretty cool because when we were on the jet ski, they out there, they have these things called tiki bars where it's like, I mean, it's way in the middle of the ocean. Like, you're like 10, 15 minutes from the coast.
Yeah.
And there's like these
sandbars.
Yeah, like the sandbars in the middle. And, like, people pull up on their boats and jet skis. They park them. And then they got, like, you know, food, music, drinks and stuff there. People just stand in the water because, like, that particular area, the water is not high. It's like 4 feet.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I never experienced anything like that, man. But yeah, it was cool.
Did y'all fall off the jet ski in the water?
We fall off jet ski.
See, y'all must have not been going that fast.
No, I was going. That's what I'm saying. I was going fast. She was holding on for dear life. She was locked in, holding on for dear life. And I've driven jet skis all the time, so I mean, it was nothing, you know, for me. But I was trying to be a little bit more cautious because she was on there with me. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool.
So one time we were in the bay. It was a group of friends, and you know they got that rule like you got to stay far apart from each other, all that stuff, right? Yep. So we're in the bay, we're jet skiing. It's probably about 10 of us, and it was one person who didn't have their own jet ski, so they were kind of like jumping on everybody else's jet ski, right? Mm-hmm. So somehow I ended up on a jet ski with my friend, and we were riding. And he was going crazy on the jet ski. Mm-hmm. And we both, like, literally flew off the jet ski.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's how fast we were going.
Yeah.
And we were trying to turn, and then we just somehow because, you know, like, when you turn, you're supposed to lean out. Kind of like a motorcycle. You lean the opposite way of where you're turning.
Yeah.
And we were just going so fast that we both just flew off. It was the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I had like I said, I didn't have any issues like that. I have on a jet ski before. I have felt fall off of a jet ski before. Yeah. Man, that was me just being wrecked. I was going way too fast, just having fun. I was standing up on doing stuff I wasn't supposed to.
That's what we were doing.
Off. Yeah. So
stupid stuff.
But yeah, this time I didn't do anything like that, and it was pretty cool too. They have like this big it was like a shipwreck where it's like in the middle of the ocean as well, where it's this old ship. They said it's been around for over 100 years, and so it was just sitting there. So like when we jet skis, like, you know, we were going out and the guy showed us the shipwreck. And what people do sometimes, like they go onto the shipwreck, they climb up on it and then jump off of it. And it's like, it's high. It's like 50, 60 feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 50, 60 feet in the air, or not in the air, but, you know, from the water. But it's cool. Like we had a really, really good time. Ate a lot of food. Seen a lot of celebrities. That's something that Brooke and I was like, wow. It was weird. I guess like a lot of people were out there at the same time. Maybe thought it was a good time to travel. I mean, we seen countless.
Rich people stuff.
You said what?
Rich people stuff. That's what y'all do.
Whatever. We seen at our resort. That was staying at our resort was Boris Kojo and Nicole Ari Parker from, you know, she was in Soul Food, and Boris has been in like several TV shows and movies and things. So that was pretty cool. Like we ate dinner. They were right beside us. We spoke to them. A lot of people like were noticing that's who they were, so they were kind of taking pictures and stuff, and I could see they was kind of getting tired of that or whatever. But it was cool, man. That resort, YMR, I'll give a shout out to them. I mean, we had a really, really good time. Okay. I mean, it was really, really good. We ate food. Like I said, just had a really good time.
You must have ate a lot of food. You said that like 10 times
I
now.
did. I'm feeling it. I feel sluggish. I feel it. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. We had a good time.
So right before you went to Turks, we actually had the Mimosa event, which was a success.
Oh yeah,
that was really nice, and it was on the beach.
Yeah, it was
great
really
location.
Yeah, shore drive. Yeah,
it was really really nice.
Yeah, that was my. I had been there once before.
Yeah.
But like that, I had never been like out there like, and that I ate lunch there one time. But it was good, man. We we had a really, really good turnout.
Yeah.
Everyone I talked to there was, a lot of people had never been to that place before.
No.
So they were like, oh, man, I never knew this even existed. So it was pretty cool to, kind of introduce them to an area, here in our local Hampton Roads that they weren't familiar with. Like I said, a lot of people were, networking, getting together, had a good time, had mimosas. We had pineapple, orange,
cranberry. And I actually drank mimosas that day. I didn't have any alcohol.
Uh-oh.
I drank like 3 or 4 mimosas.
Oh, man.
But it did put me on my butt because I went to bed that night at like 6:30.
You did?
Yeah.
See,
I was tired.
See, that was, I tried to make sure I didn't overdo it because that was the day before we went out. So I didn't want to like miss my early flight or like do nothing like that. So I kind of took it easy that day.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. Like I said,
it really was.
We were just looking at, before we started recording.
It was a beautiful view.
Yeah.
It was a nice day outside. We thought it was going to rain, but luckily it didn't rain until like later on that day. So it was overall a great event. Great networking.
Yeah. I was just looking at we had our video folks that we work with do like a quick minute and a half video of it.
Yes.
And it looked really nice. I just showed Sophia right here before we started recording the video that they sent us last night or this morning, and it came out really well. So I'm gonna post it later. So for people
really
who
nice.
Follow us on social media, you'll be able to check it out a little bit later.
Yes. Yeah. And then a few days prior to that, we had the community health fair, which was nice.
Yep. Yeah. That was that weekend before, right? Yeah, that was good.
That Saturday right before that Tuesday. I mean, it was like back to back.
Yeah, that was. I didn't realize we had that. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was really good turnout.
It was.
Yeah, it was kind of hot outside. Can't lie, it was a little hot.
It was. Good thing we had the tent.
Yeah. That tent came in handy.
Because the person who invited us out there, she's a part of the Delta Sigma Theta the Divine Nine.
Okay.
And it was their community health fair. And so there were cardiologists that came out and spoke.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Yeah, mental health.
Psychologists.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of different people in the health community that came out and they actually spoke about, some of the things that they see within our community, like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and they talked about, some of the things that you can do to
combat that.
Combat it and make things better. They had a lot of food trucks out there. Most of them were on the healthier side of things.
I was I remember, our great business development manager Ellen was out there kind of helping us getting things rocking and rolling. I think y'all both ate some of the food. I didn't eat anything that day. How was it?
Kinda. So, so we ordered tacos and we ordered chicken and French fries. So we went to the bad truck, right?
The bad truck? The food wasn't good at that truck.
No, like the bad food. Like
the bad food.
We went opposite. We didn't listen to the cardiologist.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So
that bad truck.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So we went there. I think it was like something. Auntie's something. I can't remember the name of the food truck, but it wasn't. They had a lot of different options. So we got tacos and we got chicken. Mm-hmm. So we were supposed to kind of share everything. And long story short, my taco fell on the ground because of the wind, because it was really windy.
It was windy that day.
And then it was just a lot, like right when we went, by the time we received our food, that was when we were like in the midst of doing our giveaway. Mm-hmm. We had just did a shout out.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They let us talk a little bit.
Yeah, they let us talk and they just did the shout out. So a lot of people flooded our tent. Mm-hmm. And so I really didn't get a chance to eat. Mm-hmm. So then after that, a homeless guy came up to me and Ellen and we gave him the food.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's what's
up. So
I
didn't even, I had, I think, 1 piece of chicken, maybe two, wedges, but I really didn't eat much of it because it was just too much going on.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. Yeah.
I did have a one of the ices, and that was pretty good. I got, rainbow flavor, and it was hot, like you said, so it cooled me down.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I invited my chiropractic office out, and they had a tent up as well. So that was...
I think that's who you was talking to?
Yeah, the girl that was right behind us. Okay. Yeah, she came from my office. Yep.
That's what's up.
Yep.
How has that been, though? Like, the I think I kind of told you about it. I know that you had never been to a chiropractor before. How's that been? Is that you feeling good? Like, does it feel, good after you go and you're feeling a lot better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I've kind of, went away from getting the true neck cracks. Now he's just using the gun on me right now. Mm-hmm. But all in all, good.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
And then this past week, I had a bye week from volleyball, so I didn't have to do any volleyball, anything all week. It felt great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. I didn't have to go nowhere. I was picking up my kids before my oldest got home, so then that way at 4 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I didn't have to leave my house for the rest of the night.
Oh, that gotta be a good feeling.
What?
Yeah, I feel like that every day though. So
yeah.
Your
kids ain't there yet. Just your time is coming, and when your time come, I'm gonna be done.
Okay. Well, nah, you got a young child too, though.
Yeah, James will be out the mililitary.
Okay.
So it'll be his turn.
There you go.
I'm gonna cash my check in.
You'll voucher.
And hand it off.
Hand it off. Pass that baton.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass the baton. He got 2 years before retirement.
Okay.
Here you go. I'll sign up everybody, but you can do all the running. I'll come to the games.
Yeah, I remember when
I'm not doing the practice.
It's funny. I remember, obviously, your husband being military, my dad being military. So I remember growing up, like my mom. I played a lot of sports. As everyone knows, football, basketball, track, baseball, all that stuff. So every day, every weekend, I had somewhere my mom was taking me, and a lot of times my dad was gone. So he was. He was there, but he was gone a lot of times too. So I remember my mother, like when it was time for me to be able to get my license, my mom was like helping me. I think like more than I think a normal parent would help their kid to get their license, because she was like, "Hey, I'm tired of this stuff. Like I want you to be at a point where you could drive." And I thought it was gonna be the opposite. I thought like she was gonna be like, "Oh, be careful, da da da," like that. Nope. She said those things, but she was like, "Okay, like." The day I was able to get my permit, she was like, "Let's go." The day I was able to get my license, like 16 in 3 months. Let's go. Like it was like.
So me and your wife was talking at the Mimosa event, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for my kids to go." She was like, "For real? You say that now?" I was like, "What?" No, ma'am. I'm ready. Ready for college. Ready for you to drive. Ready for everything.
I heard that.
You come back when you're an adult,
yeah.
and we can, rekindle then.
Rekindle.
Because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
You leave and then it comes back full circle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But heck yeah.
So that's funny though, man. Yeah. That's
I'm like,
funny.
yo, mom.
Yeah.
We ready.
Yeah, she was ready. She was tired. She was tired of taking me everywhere.
What?
Everywhere. So,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything. You talking just like how you play all those sports. Just imagine it was just you. I got 3.
Yeah.
I just signed up Carter for a swim.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's always something.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then we also had my daughter got accepted into the science and medicine program. So we had a special open house for that particular program within the last 2 weeks. I can't remember.
So
it was a
science
Monday.
and medicine?
Yeah, she wants to be a doctor.
A doctor, okay. That's what's up. That's good.
Yeah, we'll see. Things change. I hope she sticks with it. Because I remember when I was younger, I wanted to be a nurse. And then when I started to go towards that field, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it does change a lot, man.
Yeah, it can change multiple times, but then there's some people where they know from day one. So
that's true. That's how my sister is. My sister, she's an attorney now, and she literally since day one. That's all she ever wants. We used to watch Law and Order, so she used to like watch it for those reasons of like looking at it, and then she used to try to debate everybody in the house, like argue with everybody, like. So we were like, yeah, she's built for that. Like, she's built to be that. So
that's what I think. I'm hoping that's what Jada becomes as an attorney, because I told you we have those. I think I told you this before. I don't think I've ever said it on a podcast, but we'll set up like a courtroom at the house, and then there'll be a judge.
Yeah, I think you mentioned
there'll be
before.
2 attorneys, and then you got to plead your case, and then
That's
to figure out
man.
what happened and who did what, because it's always somebody's word against the other, and then they have to submit evidence and all that good stuff. We really act it all out. It's so funny.
That's cool. That's real cool.
But I'm hoping that Jada takes that lane and takes off with it. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's cool.
Yeah. But outside of that, shoot, what happened? You sold Wellington?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did. That was good. I think I mentioned it before a couple times on the podcast, where one of the projects that I have going on in Norfolk, a new construction project, we bought a house, we knocked it down, and we built a new house in Norfolk. And it came out really, really nice. It was real nice. Probably one of my proudest products that I've had. I mean, it was really, really good. But yeah, the buyer got under contract before the house was even completed, and they wanted to get in the house before Memorial Weekend, because right now, today's Friday, get ready to head into Memorial Weekend. So they closed on Wednesday. So that was good.
That's nice.
That was really nice. Really nice. Made a couple dollars on
that
one.
They closed on Wednesday? Oh, this past Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago.
Wednesday. Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah. We closed. We signed.
I was about to say, you left on Wednesday. That was the Wednesday
last
before.
Wednesday. Yeah. We signed the papers first thing Wednesday morning, and they signed it Wednesday afternoon. So they was really happy with everything. So I'm excited about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Got a couple other projects I'm working on now, so looking forward to getting those closed out, hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah. So in the midst of all these vacations and events and everything, let's get into these rates.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This was probably the best week to take a vacation if you are in this business.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the bleeding just didn't stop. It's like
it did not.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It's
pow,
still
pow.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, it's a lot of the information we were getting were, around this time, early to mid-May, we were gonna, start seeing some promising news and promising, rates, and it actually kind of went the opposite direction.
It did.
And mainly what we're hearing is because of the situation that the government's going through right now. With where we are with the debt, so it's
definitely affected the rates.
Yeah, it's not really giving a lot of people confidence, on the what'd you say?
Money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it do. So it's it's not really giving a lot of good good vibes in the mortgage world right now because of the rates and how quickly they're climbing. It kind of reminds me of how it was towards the end of last year, around September, October, how aggressively the rates were going up, and how it kind of was, getting folks to kind of say, oh man, what's going on, so I'm having those conversations again for like Groundhog's Day, again, but hopefully things will get better before they continue to get worse. So and people are still buying houses, so I mean we're still here obviously to help.
Oh, of course, I don't think that will ever stop.
Yeah.
Especially in this area, it's still always a better choice to pay your own mortgage.
Correct.
It's ultimately, what that means. I mean, rates were. I remember when my dad passed away, I was looking at his documents and he had like his old, loan information still like packed away, and his rate was 8%. My dad always had good credit. You know what I mean? So it's not like this is something new.
Correct. And the demand for real estate, I mean, is always, at the end of the day, it always comes to supply and demand, and the demand for real estate is still at all-time high. I mean, that's never stopped. Like I have a buyer that I've been working with, two buyers actually, that come to top of mind, but one in particular, she put an offer in, because she actually reached out to me while I was on vacation, and she put an offer in over this past weekend, and this is like her third or fourth time we tried to get a home for her, and she didn't get her offer selected, and she ended up telling me there was 22 offers on the home. Yeah. So, I mean, that just tells you, alone that people are still out here. It's just a matter of, the homes, like, I mean, it's still a lot of buyers out here because at the end of the day, it's always better to buy than it is to rent, if you have the opportunity to.
I have a guy right now who he's renting, paying almost $2,500 in rent.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just going to buy because it's cheaper to buy. Even with their interest rates being what they are. Yeah. It's just cheaper to buy.
And honestly, I mean, again, because, I mean, rents have gone up, mortgages have gone up because of the rates. But even if it's, let's say, the same or even a little bit more mortgage payment-wise, when you, let's say, pay a year in rent, right, I mean, you're paying out $28,000, right? There's nothing to show for that. After that year is over.
When you're done,
you may get your security deposit back. Maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that might be it. But when you're buying a house, I mean, you have equity that's being, built over time. Houses are still appreciating above average. So that money that you're putting, that you're paying out each month is going towards paying that loan down. That, the difference between the value and what you owe, that's equity. That's technically, your money. So there's always, it's always smarter to buy than it is to rent. So that's why there's always going to be a market for real estate.
That is correct. That is correct. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, now it's time for Exercise Your Knowledge. So during this time, we ask you a mortgage-related question. We want you to think about the answer to the question, and later on in the episode, we will reveal the answer. So today's Exercise Your Knowledge question is, If you were to close on a home today, which is May 26, 2013, I had to lolook down at the
2023. You said 13. I was about to say, dang. We went back in the time machine.
Messed that up. How did I mess that up? Oh, shoot.
Went back in the time machine. I'm like, hold on, 2013. What was I doing 10 years ago? Hold on. Oh, man. What were you doing 10 years ago? Was you living in Virginia 10 years ago? Nah.
No. I wasn't.
You had
I was on
one child
yacht.
then, too, right? You said you was what?
On somebody's yacht, probably.
Yacht. Sound about right?
Sound about right.
That's what rich people do. Sound about right. Sound about right.
What were you doing 10 years ago? In church?
Trying to make ends meet. Yeah. You say in church? Yeah, you funny. Yeah, praising the Lord. Yeah.
Praising the Lord.
That's right.
I did.
That's right. That's right.
But, sorry, if you were to close on a loan, if you were to close on your home today, when would your first payment most likely be due? And this is catered towards Hampton Roads in this area. I'm not sure, in some of the community property states or some of the different states that have different laws than where we are now. But for the most part, if you were to close on a house today, when would your first payment be due? When do you think your first payment will be due?
That's a good question.
Yeah. All right. So today's topic is rates. It's all about rates, right? So we wanted to kind of touch base with you guys because now we're in a circumstance where rates are now going up again. So now we have to talk about this again, right? So with the rates going up, how does it affect your pre-approval? You need to know that when the rate environment is going up, to reach out to your mortgage banker or your loan officer to determine if your pre-approval still stands. You want to?
Yeah, I can elaborate on that. I mean, I know because it's funny. So the thing that people really don't understand is when we pre-approve you, we're pre-approving you based on a monthly payment.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Your debt to income ratio is gonna, there's certain, thresholds that we're able to allow your debt to income to be, based upon your credit, based upon the loan type, based upon your whole credit profile as overall, right? Your credit worthiness, your job, how well, how long you've been working at your job, the assets you have, all those things come into play. So when it comes to what you qualify for, we're going to give you a pre-approval based on what that current rate is at that particular time, right? Because whatever that rate is, that's going to, that's going to impact the monthly payment, right? So let's say, for instance, we pre-approve you and the monthly payment would be $2,000, right? And let's say at that time that rate is 6.5, right? If rates go up to 7%, and let's say at that time, let me take a step back. At that time, you were pre-approved for $300,000, right? Now, if rates go up to 7%, that payment would no longer be $2,000, right? Let's say it goes up now to $2,100, right? So now we have to subtract from that $300,000, okay, at a now 7% interest rate, what gets you back to that $2,000 payment? And then that's now your new pre-approval amount. And that's something that's very important, especially in a rate environment where it's increasing, pretty aggressively, because we don't want you to go out there looking for a certain type of home and you no longer qualify for that type of home, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that, because a lot of times I know, when we pre-approve, you think that's what it is, and that's no matter what's going on. And the situation is always fluid. I mean, rates are changing, things are changing all the time. So, I try to typically check in and have conversations with my clients at least once a week to kind of let them know where we are.
But it doesn't hurt for you to check in as well. So,
Correct.
Like, if you know that over the weekend you went and looked at some properties and now you're getting ready to make an offer, check in before you make that offer.
Correct.
Because with the aggressiveness of rates nowadays, and then also with taxes and insurance, because if you go and you look at a property in Portsmouth where taxes are a little bit higher, right?
Higher
in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And then you go and look at a property in Virginia Beach where taxes aren't as high as Portsmouth, that can make a huge difference in your monthly payment. You could be looking at the same price point, $250,000. Taxes could be $1,800 for one house and almost $3,000, $3,000 annually for the other home. So
Correct.
that can definitely make a difference and impact your monthly payment, which in return impacts your approval amount.
Yeah, how much you qualify for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in most cases, I don't know about your buyers, but my buyers, I always get the question, what's my max?
Yeah.
How much can I go up to?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, what's my max? Yeah,
what's my max? Yeah. So, we listen, obviously, we get you down to the top, but that's also based on an estimate. So we kind of guess okay, well, at $300,000, we estimate for the taxes to be around $250. But let's say the taxes come in at $280, depending on what particular house you're interested in. Then that max could slightly change based on that specific house.
And I typically leave a little room, just in case, because again, there are variables. When we pre-approve you, there are some still unknown information that impacts that pre-approval. We don't know what taxes are going to be. Like I've had a situation before where I've pre-approved somebody and I was pretty conservative on the amount I put in for taxes, but the homeowner's insurance, because at the time, obviously, we don't know, what the homeowner's insurance is going to be because it depends on what home you buy, right? Yep. Insurance for each home is going to be different.
It is.
And so what happened was I was helping a person buy a home, and they were buying a home that actually had several insurance claims against that home. Yep. And so when the insurance was typically normally, I would say for that price point about $110, $115 a month.
What was the price point?
It was right around $300,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was around normally about $110, $115 a month.
It was like $190.
Yeah, it was actually over $200. Yeah, it was basically double that amount.
Yep.
And they found a home that was in a flood zone, and so it kind of tied into each other because they had so many claims on that home because there was flood issues in that area. And so there was two things, right? There was flood insurance that we had to account for that could also impact your pre-approval amount. And then it was also that insurance that for that particular home, right? And what I will say too is in the comments on the listing, the listing agent did put that out there, but the buyer's agent, they weren't aware of it. And the agent remarks part, they didn't look at that part. Yeah, so that's something that you want to obviously make sure that you're paying attention to all that information out there because, for us, if we're pre-approving you on, we're pre-approving you on some very basic standard things. But when you toss in flood insurance or you toss it in a home that they have a lot of claims in it, so now a new insurance company.
And what else affects insurance is the age of your roof.
Correct.
That I've actually this week experienced someone who is purchasing at $320. They're under contract. And we're shopping insurance, and all the insurance is coming in at between $170 and $190, which is on the higher end. Yeah. But it's because the roof is 20 years old.
Correct. Yeah.
Which sucks, So,
yeah. But those are things, like I said. I mean, those are things that we can't. When we pre-approve you, we can't foresee that that's the case. So just making sure that you understand that those things need to be brought up, need to be discussed about, because if they're not. We don't want to have a situation where you fall in love with a home that's at the top of your budget, and then those one or two, extra variables that, we don't know about, you didn't know about, now put you in a situation where you can't afford that home anymore, right? And you put an offer on a home, and now we're starting to try to figure out how to, still get you into this home. You're having to pay off a credit card that you didn't anticipate having to pay off and spending more money, on the transaction than what you thought. So just making sure that line of communication, understanding that, what affects, how much you're pre-approved, how rates affect it, how taxes, insurance, how all those things impact it, and making sure that line of communication is always, happening.
Yeah. So some of the things that we do to help with that impact is sometimes we'll ask you to pay off a debt. So if we see, for example, Bryan used the example of your payment being $2,000, and then now the interest rate has gone up, and now your new payment is $2,100 or $2,200. Sometimes we'll go as far as looking at your debts to see, okay, what debt can you pay off that doesn't have a high balance, that has a monthly payment of $100, that can kind of close that gap needed to get you pre-approved. So definitely, if that issue ever comes up, think about the debts that you carry. Is this something that you can pay off? Because ultimately, not having an extra debt helps you in the long run, because that's one less bill that you're required to pay.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. That's something that we good. I feel I know me and Sophia, we joke about it all the time where we say we're professional problem solvers.
Oh.
So a lot of times there's things that come up, and a lot of times the buyers, they don't even know it.
No.
A lot of times, we kind of figure out things on the back end where it doesn't even necessarily have to be brought up, or we just feel like we don't, because I know it's when you're buying a home, there's a lot going on. It's a very anxious moment.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to add anything to your plate that we feel is not needed. Now, if obviously it's a situation where, hey, we got to put our heads together and figure this out, then we're going to have a conversation about it. But, sometimes we figured things out.
Listen, sometimes we come together and have meetings on specific files so we can all get together and try to figure out how to make it work.
There you go. Yeah. Just have different ways of, hey, you may look at this differently than I'm looking at it. So what do you think about this? And then, we'll say, okay, well, how about you do this? Be like, oh, that's a good idea. And we'll figure it out, and then the problem solved. So, but yeah, we try to obviously not have that happen as much because we definitely want to make sure, that the process of you buying a home is very
as smooth as possible.
Yeah, very smooth. You have a great experience with buying, because it should be. It should be. It's something that you're putting your family in, the places you're going to lay your head at. So we want to make sure that that process is an enjoyable one.
As smooth as it can be. Now, don't get me wrong. Buying a house is not something that is a breeze.
Yeah.
You have to be committed. You have to be dedicated. You have to really, go all in.
Yeah.
You can't be on the fence. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You have to really pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Really read your documents. Really have an understanding as to what you're doing. I have someone right now who's having trouble signing documents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how could you buy a house if you can't even sign your documents?
And look, I know this may not be popular amongst my fellow mortgage bankers, man, but I feel like sometimes I'm helping people buy houses, man, and like you said, sometimes things that we're asking of them seem like they're so of a daunting task, where I'm like, are you sure you really want to buy a house? Because if you don't know how to get a bank statement, or you don't know how to access your pay stubs, or you don't know what a W-2 is, there's some basic things that we need on pretty much every purchase that I'll ask documents. I can't get it. I'm like, yeah, okay.
How are you going to have an understanding of your monthly payment and your mortgage? And, when things happen or taxes come up, or, if there's a claim that you need to make, how do you get past that type of stuff with home ownership if getting through the pre-approval process seems a little tough? So just, do your research, Google things, ask friends.
Yeah, or just ask us. Like I said, we mentioned before in the podcast, if most people, it's not a knee-jerk reaction when you're buying a home. You're not going to buy a home. You're not going to wake up one day and say, hey, you know what, I want to buy a home. Normally people prepare to buy a house.
You prepare mentally.
Yeah. Money-wise as well. Typically, you try to put yourself in position to,
you ask questions.
So that's why we say, even if hey, I'm going to buy a home 6 months from now, a year from now, you can reach out, have conversation with us. We can have consultations with you where we can go over what it takes, what it looks like, so you can properly plan. So when your time comes, when you want to execute it, it's it's there, it's easy. So yeah.
Now, with all the rate talk about all these increases, what's the plan to moving forward? So keep in mind that although rates are a little bit higher right now, there's always room to refinance in the future. So we're the same people that can get you into your home, that locks in your interest rate. We're the same people who can refinance your loan and potentially get you into a lower rate in the future. So always keep that in mind. You could definitely reach out to us, but trust and believe, when those rates go down, we will reach out to you.
I'm going to call you. You ain't got to worry about that. You got to worry about that.
It's definitely something that is in the plans.
Yeah, I remember during the pandemic, when rates,
you probably went through your whole pipeline.
Yeah, I was calling it people left, right, everybody. Yes. People I hadn't talked to in a while.
Neighbors.
Yeah.
What's your rate?
Yeah, but honestly, a lot of people were calling me too. It was just everyone knew that's what was going on.
It's a knee-jerk reaction, especially with the news. They tend to put things out there. Yeah. and sometimes they're right, but most of the time it's not right. So they'll let
not
you
all
know.
Of it. It's not the full story. That's what I always say. The news is always there's a lot of information that's not
correct.
It's always a little bit of information, but it's not always the full story. Which can change how you look or how you view the information.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. All right, so definitely reach out to us when it comes to your rates. If you happen to see them increasing or if you have any questions at all, definitely reach out to your mortgage banker.
Yeah.
So earlier in the segment, we asked you guys a question. Exercise your knowledge. We asked you a mortgage-related question, and we wanted you guys to think about it, hold it in the back of your mind, and now it's time to reveal that answer. So we did ask, if you were to close on a home today, which is May 26, 2023. I got it right this time.
There we go.
When would your first payment most likely be due?
Right,
drum roll.
Drum roll.
All right.
The answer is July 1st.
My dad's birthday.
There we go. Whoop. Great day.
Whoop, whoop.
Great day. Yeah, 1st of July.
1st of July. Yeah. You know what's funny? So this is let's backstory a little bit about the birthday. So my dad's from Eritrea, and there when he came over, he never knew his real birthday, and because they didn't have like anything that was a record of
like
birth,
a birth certificate or something. Yeah.
So he knew he was born in July, but he really didn't know the day. And so all of like my family that were immigrants and came over from Africa, all of their birthdays on the 1st of the month. So if you have friends,
so they designated this day like
so if you have friends that are from that country, ask them what's their parents' date of birth. It should be the
That's
1st.
Crazy. That's crazy. But that makes sense, though. I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Because a lot of their information got destroyed in the war.
Yeah, on the way over. Yeah, for sure.
In the war, pretty much. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, July 1st, everybody.
Yeah. So July 1st, and so just to kind of piggyback on that and kind of expound upon it, actually, depending upon in the month where you close, that's going to determine when your first payment's due, right? So like Sophia mentioned, if you're closing at the end of the month, so anytime between the 16th through the 30th or 31st, or even 28th if it's February, your first payment's not going to be due that next month. It's always the month after that.
Correct.
Right? So you typically get about 30 to 45 days bare minimum depending upon when you close. Now, when you close at the beginning of a month, let's say, for instance, like you said, your father's birthday is July 1st. If you were to be buying a home and close on July 1st, then your payment is actually not going to be due until September 1st, right? So that's like a full 60 days. Now, we did kind of talk about prepaid interest before on a previous episode. At closing, there's going to be more interest that's collected because they're going to collect prepaid interest from the day that you close all the way until your first payment being due, right? So there's more money at closing that has to be, more cost, I should say, or more money has to be paid out at the time of closing.
Yep.
But it does allow you that longer period of time to, I guess, start making your mortgage payment.
Correct.
And another thing, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So let's give an example. Yeah. So let's say your prepaid interest or per diem interest is $61 per day, right? So we would include 61 times 30 days or 61 times however many days you have left in that month. It could be 5 days, it could be 10 days. So that's how we determine what the interest is going to be collected for that particular month at closing.
Correct. Another little nugget I want to give folks too is that your payments, they're due on the 1st, but they're not late until after the 15th.
Correct.
So, and I know that's something that a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of times when I have conversations,
I don't tell my clients that.
You don't tell them that.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't voluntarily say that, but I've had a lot of people ask me.
It's doing the first. It's late on the 2nd.
There you go. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, yeah.
It's doing the 1st, late on the 2nd.
Yeah.
But no, you really do have a grace period.
Yeah, it's a built-in grace period where essentially, if again, I guess I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it. I always try to give out information just so folks know.
It's technically late. You don't get a late fee until after the 15th, and then you're not penalized until after 30 days.
Correct.
So if I were you, just don't ride that wave.
Yeah.
Just pay it on the 1st.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like I said, from the 1st to the 15th, you're able to make a payment.
Yeah.
Without penalty.
Yeah.
So I would always try to prepare for the 1st, but there is a grace period built in there just in case something comes up. They allow you to do that. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. So what's coming up? What you got going this weekend or next week? I don't really have anything. I'm jumping right into volleyball.
Okay.
I know yesterday in our morning meeting you mentioned that Little Mermaid was coming out, and I forgot about that. So I'm hoping that I can catch a movie. I looked at the tickets and everything was pretty much booked. I mean,
we bought our tickets. Yeah, we bought our tickets earlier this week. Yeah, I mean,
I forgot
that was something we were
all
kind of
about it.
preparing for. We always, when there's a holiday coming up, we always try to do something with the kids, like go somewhere or whatever. So, and then I looked at the weather as well. It's supposed to literally rain Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So that kind of sucks.
Perfect time to go to the movies when it's raining.
Yeah. So we, this weekend, just kind of chill for real, like you said. I mean, I'm a cook on the grill. I'm gonna go to the farmers market, get some food, and probably cook on the grill. I think tomorrow is the day that they're gonna.
From my understanding, I always thought a farmer's market was like fruits and vegetables. So you go to the farmer's market to get meat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what kind of farmer's market is that? It's not. It's indoor?
No, it's outdoor.
So you go and get where's the meat?
So you have like farmers, right, who may, I don't know.
But where's the meat? In a cooler?
Yeah, they have it like in a cooler, or they have like a big truck, a big vehicle that they like transport it from their farm to the actual place where they're selling the food at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So so tomorrow I'll probably grab some. I even might after this I might run to Whole Foods, because Whole Foods normally have some pretty good pretty good brisket.
So down the street from your house, 3 weeks ago, I went strawberry picking.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, right next door, they have, like, an ice cream shop.
And we
went and had ice cream there, and I bought some honey butter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made some croissants, and we did honey butter on top of the croissants, and it was really
pretty good. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Burgess. Yeah, they're it's a Jewish family. They're well known. That farm has been there for, I mean, it's been a while. I know it's like been different generations, but I know the person, I think, the grandmother or mother just recently passed. I mean, I even seen it on the news. It's a big thing. And so now her children, it's just recently got passed to, I guess, the newest generation right now. But yeah, that farm has been there for a long time. So yeah, they got good stuff there. We've been there before. So they definitely got some good stuff there. But yeah, I'm going, I guess my weekend, I'm going to farmer's market, get some food, cook on the grill. And then my son, he has a recital this Sunday. So it's kind of weird that they did the recital on a holiday weekend. I kind of thought that was a little weird, in case people were going out of town or whatever. But I mean, I'm not, so that's cool. But still, just normally they don't do stuff like that on a holiday.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has his recital. He plays the piano, or he's been recently playing the piano, I should say. Mm-hmm. He's really excited about it. It's a solo recital, so like they have a couple of different kids who are going to be playing different songs. So he's going to be on the stage himself playing the piano, dressed up and everything. So I'm really excited to see him do that. And then like you mentioned as well, I mentioned to you when we talked about it not too long ago as far as the movies. We'll probably check out a movie on Monday and just kind of hang out, man. Like I said, we just came back from vacation, so we're probably just going to kind of relax and just kick back.
Okay. So, Okay. Are you going to barbecue?
Yeah, I'll probably do that on,
Monday?
I'm thinking Saturday. Yeah, because Monday we were going to go to the movies. Sunday is his recital. And so, yeah, Saturday is probably going to be the most, I think I looked at the weather. It was probably going to rain the least on Saturday. It's probably going to have the most opportunity because I'm not doing much on Saturday. So I'll probably just do it on Saturday. So we'll have food for, the next couple of days.
Where is the recital?
It's at, what is it called? It's the Virginia Beach. It's in Virginia Beach, but it's the Virginia Beach something. It's like it's a center. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, but it's some center. I've never been there before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not doing anything. My both of my grills, they're done. I need a new one, so I'm not barbecuing anything. And my cousin, she's sick, so I was thinking about going to Charlotte, but she's not feeling good, and I'm not looking to get sick, so I'm gonna stay home. And then my other cousin who lives in Virginia, he's going to see his girlfriend. So yeah, we'll be here. Doing nothing. A whole lot of nothing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. And then are you still doing the Murph?
Yeah, we talked about that. So this morning, my two buddies I always mention on the podcast. I think you know who I'm talking about at this point. We typically like get together and do different things. And so the Murph is like a workout that, a lot of folks do on Memorial Weekend. In honor of, I can't remember exactly the full story, but in honor of a guy. I think his last name has the name Murph in it or whatever. But it's a workout. It's pretty tough, and we try to like get together and do it. So I think we probably are going to try to do it at some point this weekend, and we've done it before. It was tough.
Oh, it's only this weekend?
That's
or is it the month of May?
Nah, I think it's Memorial Weekend. Yeah, it's Memorial Weekend. It's typically when people do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
I was at the chiropractor on Monday, and I saw this girl. She was talking about her and some moms did a Murph in their neighborhood.
Okay.
I guess last weekend. So
the Murph is a specific workout, but people typically do it on Memorial Weekend in honor because Memorial.
It's a specific workout.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So
I heard you told me about it last year or maybe the year before. I can't remember, but that's when you run, you do push-ups.
Yeah, squats, pull-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that type of stuff.
Yeah, so we'll probably do it tomorrow or at some point this weekend, depending on how the weather looks. But normally have a good time. I know the wives, they come out there, they cheer us on. My kids go out there.
Do they really cheer y'all on?
Yeah. They even had signs up and everything. Go Bryan, go Sherman, go Shalimar. It was.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So we'll probably do that.
Y'all got to get some medals and some trophies next.
Yeah, because one year we did teams. Yeah, one year we did like a 2-on-2, like where it was like we kind of competed or whatever on teams. So
why the women don't do it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough workout.
You can modify it, right?
Yeah, you could. Are you gonna do it?
No.
Oh, okay then. Okay.
But I'm not a part of y'all friend group.
You ain't got to be a part of our friend group to do the Murph, though.
Nah.
Yeah. Like you said,
I got to have a friend group to do it. I don't have a friend group that's going to do that.
Oh, okay. Right? You got a friend group, though, right? You can create it. You can, honestly, you can say, hey, girls, let's do this. Ladies, let's do this.
True. Yeah.
You can.
No, I'm tapped out right now.
I got you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Being in charge of some type of event. I did that 2 times in a row.
Okay.
I'm tapped out until the next time.
Till the next time?
Yeah.
I got you.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We like to leave you guys with a positive note. So I'll let you take the reign with the quote.
Yes. So this quote is something that I thought about this morning, and I think it was a good one to mention here on this episode. But it's experience is a hard teacher because she gives the test first and the lesson afterwards. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, when you go through something, that experience you have allows you to, know how to maneuver when it comes, to a new situation that you go through, because you can tap in and, use that experience you have from that previous one, right? So I think that's something that's very, very important. People say, oh, man, I lost or I failed. Like, no, it was a lesson learned. You learned, you had the experience, so next time you know how to properly prepare yourself, so therefore, you're able to win in whatever endeavor that you got going. So experience is key. Sometimes you don't know anything until you go through it. So
I tell people that all the time.
Yeah. You don't know it until you go through it, man. So, having that experience, having that under your belt definitely gives you that edge when it comes to that next time where you can utilize that experience to try to help whatever you're trying to accomplish.
One of my good friends in Florida on Mother's Day, she messaged me and was like, man, why didn't you tell me parenting was hard? I said, I tried to tell you, but you had to experience it for yourself to understand what I meant. She was like, she sent me to pray and said, amen.
Yeah, prayers, yeah.
Or facts. So she said facts.
Oh, facts, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Some things you have to go through it to understand it, and that's the lesson.
Yeah, that is very true. That's very, very true.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So that's all the time that we have for today. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Mine's is SKB_mortgage.
Yep, and mine is Bryan_Royster. It's Bryan with the Y_Royster. So
you know what's funny? Sorry. I seen another way to spell Bryan here recently. It was BRYNN.
Bryn? That's what I said.
BRYNN. It was Bryan. BRYNN.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like somebody a typo and they just roll with it. That's what that sounds like. Now it's funny. Actually, my mentor, and I know we kind of going off. I'll leave this on this note. My mentor who got me into the mortgage world, the mortgage business. Her name is Lisa, right? And her name is spelled Lesia. When you hear that don't look like Lisa or spell like Lisa, right?
No.
So she told me that funny story. I actually like why.
It's like Liza.
Yeah, Licia, something, I don't know. Right. So she told me on the birth certificate, I guess her mother, like, I think, or her father, somebody, I can't remember exactly who it was, the person, they misspelled it. Yeah, they misspelled it, and they just roll with it. Yeah, they just roll with it.
My aunt, that happened to her.
Oh, for real?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Her name is Vernita, but on her birth certificate, it's something totally different.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, they spelled it wrong. She was like, I just never took the time to correct it. Yeah. She was like, that's my name. Yeah. But that's all the time that we have for you today. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.